I was not born into wealth. I did not wake up one morning with gold lining my pockets or a silver spoon waiting on my dining table. No, my fortune was forged in the fires of mistakes, lessons, and the raw understanding that not every person around you wishes you well, especially when you start to grow. In my younger days, I used to think that kindness alone could win people over. That if I just gave enough of my time, my energy, my soul, people would return that goodness. But life is a strict teacher, and she showed me the hidden face of the world. The toxic ones walk amongst us like wolves in sheep's clothing. These people, they disguise envy as concern. They mask sabotage as advice. They plant seeds of doubt when you dare to dream big. And the irony? They often come disguised as friends, family, or lifelong companions. The more I rose, the more their true colors emerged. I remember when I made my first real money. Not millions, just enough to stand on my own feet. Suddenly, the voices I trusted became strangely critical. Don't get ahead of yourself. Be realistic. You're changing. At first, I believed them. I asked myself, am I being reckless? Am I becoming arrogant? But one night, staring at my reflection, I realized my only crime was trying to outgrow the version of myself they were comfortable with. That's when I started paying attention. Who lifted me higher? Who drained me dry? Who celebrated my wins in public but resented them in private? I learned to spot the little tells, the backhanded compliments, the subtle discouragement, the sudden silence when I spoke about dreams bigger than the room we sat in. Toxic people don't always scream. Sometimes they whisper. Sometimes they sit in the front row of your life, clapping just loud enough to stay close, but never loud enough to truly support you. So I made a list. Literally, a handwritten list of everyone who left me feeling empty, small, or doubtful after an encounter. I looked at that list and asked, do they add value to my mission? Do they sharpen my mind or dull my spirit? Most didn't pass the test. I know this sounds cold, but this is reality. If you want to build an empire, you must protect its gates. A castle is not just built with stone and wealth. It is guarded by strong walls, guarded by sharp minds. I am the gatekeeper of my mind and my time. And so I made a vow to myself that night. I would never again apologize for outgrowing toxic people. Because every minute I spent watering dead plants was a minute stolen from nurturing the garden of my potential. I started saying no. At first it felt unnatural. I had spent so long saying yes to everyone, thinking my worth came from their approval. But the wealthy know something others don't. Saying no is not rejection, it's protection. My phone rang less often. Invitations to pointless gatherings dried up. Gossip circles no longer welcomed me because I refused to feed them. And as the noise faded, something unexpected happened. My mind grew clearer. My energy multiplied. I could hear my own thoughts again. In the absence of the toxic, I found space for the authentic. People whose ambition did not threaten me but fueled me. People who spoke the language of growth, not gossip. And slowly, I understood. Wealth is not just about money. It is about surrounding yourself with people who multiply your courage, your ideas, your self-respect. Some might say, I became ruthless. Maybe. But tell me, what's more ruthless? letting the poisonous stay close, or cutting them off before they kill your dreams. I chose the latter, and every day I choose it again. Because when you protect your circle, you protect your future. With time, I realized that simply removing toxic people wasn't enough. The truly wealthy don't just cut. They cultivate environments where toxicity struggles to breathe in the first place. It's a system, not a single act. Let me tell you how I do it. How I handle the toxic without letting them infect my world. These are the unwritten rules I live by. Rule 1. Distance is power. I do not argue with toxic people. I do not explain myself endlessly. I do not try to convince them why my path makes sense. If a person shows me they thrive on chaos, I hand them the distance they deserve. A simple, polite detachment. Not anger, not drama, just absence. I learned this from watching other successful people. They do not fight battles that drain them emotionally. They move on to bigger wars, the ones worth winning. Rule 2. Limited access is limited damage. Some toxic people cannot be fully removed. Perhaps they are family, colleagues, or people you must interact with. So I limit their access. I share only what is necessary. I do not invite them into my dreams, my plans, or my vulnerabilities. I give them no fuel to twist into gossip. Looking back, I see clearly. The wealthiest people I know are not just masters of money, they are masters of boundaries. They are generous with opportunity, but ruthless with access. They know that a healthy empire is built not only on smart deals, but on clean environments. I share this because I wish someone had told me sooner. Maybe you feel guilty for letting people go. Maybe you fear being seen as cold or selfish. Let me free you. Your future is worth more than someone else's comfort. Keep your circle strong. Keep your gates guarded. Keep your energy protected. Because in the end, the greatest luxury the wealthy have is not just money, it is peace of mind. And no toxic person deserves to rent space in that palace. I have learned that building wealth is not only about money, it is equally about the people you allow into your life. In my journey from an ordinary dreamer to a man who commands his own time and destiny, I discovered one brutal truth. Toxic people are the silent killers of ambition. When I was younger, I wanted to please everyone. I thought that to become successful, I had to be loved and approved by everyone I knew. I would sit for hours listening to their complaints, their small dreams, their constant doubts. I thought I was being kind, but in reality I was poisoning myself slowly. These people were never direct enemies. They were my friends, my distant relatives, my old schoolmates, people who clapped when I failed and warned me when I tried to rise. Their words were always coded in care. Be realistic. Don't aim too high. What if it doesn't work? Seeds of doubt planted in my mind every time I dared to dream big. The turning point came when I earned my first real money. Nothing extravagant, just enough to break free from survival mode. Suddenly, the jokes started, the whispers, the snide remarks about how I was changing. And they were right. I was changing. I was waking up to a bigger life. And it terrified them. I understood then that not everyone clapping for you wants you to win. Some clap because they hope you trip while dancing. Some nod so they can stay close enough to drain you dry. So I did what few have the courage to do. I started to protect my gates. I stopped sharing my deepest plans with people who did not believe in me. I pulled back my time from those who only brought drama and gossip. I learned to say no. Was it easy? No. It was one of the hardest lessons. Some of these people had been in my life for years. Some called themselves family, but wealth does not grow in poisoned soil, and neither does a strong mind.